Guys, we're back with another video for you today. We're talking about Pernoire. Are you familiar with this house? You're going to find out all about them coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian and I've got Joe here.
Hello.
So yes, we are talking about Pernoire. You guys have been asking me to do a video on this house. I discovered them last year at Exxon's, and so there was a little reel I did on my Instagram account, and I've been wanting to do a video, so finally we're doing it. And I've got Joe here. We've been testing the fragrances out. In fact, you had some samples of these, right? Some nice size, large samples.
Thanks to you.
Yeah. So you're going to find out all about the brand, but let me tell you a little bit about the fragrances and what they're offering as well. This is a Swiss brand. All of the fragrances are created by Andreas Wilhelm of the brand Perfume Sucks. If you guys know the perfumer, let me know, put a comment down. But the brand is also Swiss, and also Andreas Wilhelm is Swiss as well. So the fragrances, as I said, extrait de parfum concentration, so highly concentrated, 50 ml bottles for $220. And the brand is offering a promotion. If you buy a 50 ml bottle, you also add a travel size in your cart, and you use the code ThePerfumeGuy, all one word, and you get the travel size for free. So that's a pretty good promotion. You can get one of the bottle maybe, and then try another fragrance, or get one of the same fragrance you're buying. You can travel around with the mini and then keep the other one at home.
Yeah, you can have fun with them.
Yeah. So we're starting off in alphabetical order with a fragrance called AMORAL. Again, all the fragrances are created by Andreas Wilhelm. And let me show you how the bottles look. This is AMORAL, and on the back we have a little, what do you call that? A little drawing, or?
Like an etch.
Etch-a-sketch?
Etch-a-sketch.
So AMORAL is featuring notes of oud, iris, tonka, ambery notes, smoked prunes, sandalwood, cypriol, cumin, violets, cardamom, cinnamon, orange blossom, black tea, and key limes. So what do we get with this one?
I don't know if everyone's going to get this, but I got a little bit of an inkiness from it.
And I can understand why you're getting inkiness.
Not in a bad way, though. I really enjoy this. And me and Sebastian were talking a little bit before shooting. We were thinking about maybe ranking it as we go along. And for this one, I'll just tell you up front, this is my #1 from this house. I really enjoy this fragrance.
This is my #2.
Close. Hey, we're close. I get the iris though right now, especially with it wafting off the card over towards me. I'm picking up a bit of that, like, kind of a white floral iris, almost like that iris that you would find in I don't know, like an iris poudre, or what was the iris with Houbigan? What was the name of that? Oh my gosh, it smells like that iris though.
The iris does smell like that. It's quite powdery.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, this brand is very powdery until you get to the fruity fragrances.
Oh, yeah.
Although those are powdery a bit too.
One of them.
Yeah. But this is definitely lots of powder, and I think the inkiness he's getting is from either the oud or something smoky in here comes off. Also leathery. They don't mention anything about leather. There are like maybe animalic facets from the oud.
For sure.
And I think that's what's causing the inkiness. There's something dark and inky in there for sure.
Yeah.
It's not a very bright fragrance. And all the brightness that's in there, like the orange blossom, the key limes, maybe even the iris, is giving it more of an airy quality.
Yeah.
It is kind of lightening it up a little bit, but I think the fragrance is pretty dark.
Yeah, it is definitely a darker fragrance. And I mean, again, I was talking with Sebastian about this, but when you look at the note breakdown, it doesn't make a lot of sense, which I kind of find intriguing about fragrances. Sometimes if you look at a note breakdown, you can't really picture what it's going to smell like. That's kind of how this is. But I really enjoy this fragrance. I think it's really good. I'm also a lover of key lime pie, so that might be a factor.
That's the reason why, huh?
It could be a factor for sure.
No, this is definitely one of the best from the line. I really like it. And I like that inkiness. And I didn't think about ink. I thought of animalic leather.
Which I also see, yeah.
Until he mentioned ink, and I'm like, yeah, that does smell inky. And I guess people interpret certain notes and smells and fragrances with different things that they might be familiar with. He was probably familiar with ink.
For whatever reason.
And he smelled ink. And I was familiar with leather because I used to work in a shoe shop. My uncle designed shoes. So there you go. I got leather from that.
It totally makes sense.
Yeah. So whatever you smell, go with it.
Yeah, seriously. Exactly.
So next up, we've got a fragrance called MANSA. Again, we're doing this in alphabetical order. This is MANSA right here. And this one has this design on the back of the bottle.
What are those?
Picks?
They're kind of like
Swords?
I mean, we're close. We're recording this close to Mardi Gras. It kind of looks like the things you see in New Orleans.
Oh,
You know?
maybe yeah. For sure.
We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. So MANSA was actually nominated for an Art and Olfaction Awards. It was a finalist. And I was actually attending the year this was nominated. And Andreas Wilhelm was there. So he won an award, but I don't think this one was the winner. No, I don't think so. But this features notes of pink pepper, orris, rose, amber, oud, blackberry, cassis, saffron, patchouli, musk, heliotrope, moss. So whenever you see the heliotrope note, you know the fragrance is going to go powdery. And I mentioned this is a pretty powdery brand to me.
For sure.
This one to me acts leathery, ambery, Middle Eastern-esque. Also rose and oud comes in as well.
Yeah.
But imagine all those Middle Eastern fragrances that kind of go ambery. This one goes more powdery.
Yeah.
Lots of powder in this one.
Which I found kind of interesting because, I mean, if you see the note breakdown, you see that oud rose combo. I mean, we've spoken about it numerous times before. It's very overdone, I guess, is a word to use for it. But it's different because of that powdery facet from the heliotrope, which is kind of nice, actually. I believe I have this one at number 2. So we're starting off.
I believe I have this one at number 3.
Oh, look at that. Okay, so we're starting this list off pretty strong right now. And I guess we're hitting like the heavy hitters first. I enjoy this fragrance.
No, I do too. And I like the fact that they've added some freshness, not freshness as in the style, but it's a bit more of a fresher take on the oud rose combo.
It's not crazy heavy.
Well, it's intense, it's dense, but there's a lightness about it. And I think the fruits are giving it that lightness. And even though there's a lot of fruits in here, it's not overly fruity to me. How about you?
I don't get too many fruits. I get more like the saffron kind of leatheriness from it. I get the oud and rose, but I definitely do see leather kind of more first and foremost kind of in the...
Yeah, I think the leather is definitely distinct. You'll notice it. That's what I noticed first. And then the oud developed and then the rose developed.
Yeah. And the fruits are there just to help out a little bit. You know?
Yeah, they give it a little contrast.
Yeah.
But don't forget the heliotrope.
Yeah, the heliotrope.
That's what's contributing to the powder here. This is pretty powdery.
It is really powdery, yeah.
2 back-to-back powdery fragrances.
Again, that's different. You don't see a lot of powdery oud roses out there, so get your nose on it. If that sounds intriguing to you, it's definitely a very interesting fragrance.
Yeah. Check that one out. Okay, next up we've got MASAR, this one right here. Then this one is a dragonfly, I think, on the back, right?
Looks like it, yeah.
So MASAR is the animalic fragrance in the collection. Although some of the other ones do have some light animalics, this one you'll definitely notice the animalics. And I was reading the notes from the brand's website. They actually list this note as animalic notes / leather. We've got yuzu, labdanum, honey, ozonic notes, amber, rosewood, vanilla, leather, sandalwood. So I'm not sure if there was supposed to be a comma there, but leather, sandalwood, tonka, tobacco, cloves, and cinnamon. So what do we get with this one? Besides all the funk and animalic notes.
I actually have a bit of a funny story about this one, a little anecdote for you folks.
You told me about it.
Yeah, I did. I was telling Sebastian about this earlier, but you know, I don't mind this off the strip, actually. It's I was with my friend. We were watching, we're in San Francisco. I was watching the 49ers game, and we were meeting up with some people, and he was like, do you have any fragrance? Because I'm kind of always carry fragrance on me at this point. And I had one of the vials that Sebastian so kindly gave to me. And I just kind of handed him one, and he took this one. And he's not the most avid perfume wearer.
Oh, boy.
So I would definitely say he's a bit more on the casual side. Love the guy, don't get me wrong. But he sprayed it on, and he was thrown off a little bit, I'll say that. And he sprays quite heavy. So when he sprayed it on, he went for it. So I was smelling it for the rest of the night. Off him, I will say it smelled nice. On me, it doesn't smell the same way.
Really?
My skin, it doesn't work the way it worked off of him, and that's the reason I have it ranked a little bit lower. I have this one at number 5. Other than that, though,
I think I have this ranked at number 4. We'll have to look at the list later. I enjoy the animalics in here. I don't think it's very strong. For me, it's definitely wearable. There are some animalic fragrances that you put on. They're just overwhelming. This one's not. And again, it's powdery once again. Definitely has all that powder, very similar to all the fragrances. And you know what? The fragrances are very cohesive. They're all created by the same perfumer. He's using a very similar DNA, so they do fit one from the other. But in the collection, this is definitely the spicy, animalic, resinous, ambery fragrance. I like it.
It's definitely...
It's not my top favorites.
It's the bad boy from the collection, though, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure. That is MASAR.
MASAR.
All right, we've got NAKI up next. This is it right here. And we've got a lotus flower on the back.
Pretty. I like the design on these bottles.
I do too.
It's minimalistic, but it's tasteful.
They're very tasteful, minimalistic, classy. So NAKI is a figgy, fruity fragrance with peaches, passion fruit, sea breeze, aldehydes, fig leaves, white flowers, almond blossom, osmanthus, vanilla, white musk, and sandalwood. So what do we get with this one?
So this is one of 2 really fruity fragrances in the house, and
but this one's not as fruity as the other one.
Yeah, no, the other one's very fruity. We'll get to that one later, but that one's very, very, very fruity. This one is a little bit more on. I get a lot of the fig leaves with this one, which I really pick up on, and I enjoy that. And the peaches and the osmanthus also kind of go together and make a
good relationship.
Yeah, they do. They make that.
They boost up each other.
Exactly. They get along, and the aldehydes kind of add a bit of a fizziness to it as well that I kind of pick up off the strip. I really like this fragrance, especially for a fruity fragrance, which I won't typically go for. I love this fragrance, actually.
It's really good, and you can really, really experience the bitterness of the fig leaves. Mm-hmm. It's definitely really green and ripe, and hot under the sun.
Yeah.
When you walk under a tree when it's really hot and the smell is really wafting off the tree because the heat is like amplifying it. Mm-hmm. That's what you get. But it's also
kind of find that shade. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a freshness about it. I think the sea breeze adds that kind of breezy airiness to the fragrance. I think this is a great fragrance.
I really like this one. I have this at number 3, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NAKI is good.
NAKI is good.
And speaking of fruits, we've got a fruit bomb here called TIERRA. This one right here. Ooh. With a sun logo kind of a thing on the back. Mm-hmm. This is red berries, Colombian spices, aged rum, oud, vanilla, benzoin. You do experience a lot of those, but although for me, this is like a red berries overdose, like lots of it. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of non-distinct berries. Maybe you got pomegranates because it's quite tart here. Maybe raspberries, maybe cranberries. It's a tart direction, sour, maybe a bit astringent direction of red berries.
Yeah.
But it's chock full of booziness as well and spices. Do you get the oud in this one?
I don't pick up too much oud off of this one.
I don't get the oud either.
But I get, like you said,
tartness.
It hits your nose, and
it also, to me, it also smells like a fruit jam, like a tart fruit jam.
I can see that.
It's just a lot of fruits.
And I'll be transparent. This one is, I believe, the lowest I have ranked. But if you like fruits, smell this because it is fruits, and there's a whole lot of it. But it's definitely got a bit of a sour quality to it.
Yeah, it's definitely tart.
Yeah, you guys are going to want to know that before smelling it. I mean, that being said, I think it could work really well in hot weather.
Well, for me, this one, as soon as I smelled it, it really woke up my senses because it's like it hits you right away.
Yeah.
In a good way, but maybe it might catch you off guard because it's so sour and tart.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah. And I think the aged rum that's in here is amplifying its tartness, even though rum, to me, doesn't scream tart or sour. It just kind of amplifies this tartness for me.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it, but it's ranked low for me because of the tartness.
Yeah, it's strong, and if people aren't used to experiencing strong fragrances that just kind of pack a punch right off the bat, they're not gonna necessarily understand it until they get to know it a little bit better.
Yeah,
I guess.
And the other thing is also, I always mention tart lemons, perfect in the heat. I think this will work great in the heat. The tartness, I think, will cut through the heat if you're experiencing some heat waves or something.
For sure. Cool you down a little bit.
Totally cools you down, yes. And last but not least, my favorite of the collection, it's VITIAS, this one right here, with a beautiful seashell on the back.
Ooh. Cologne?
No cologne. It does say ambergris, but I think this is maybe using some ambroxan. So it's ambergris, white musk, black pepper, marine notes, pink pepper, lime, angelica, bergamot, iris, blonde woods, and gaiac wood. Those of you that know Another 13 from Le Labo might enjoy this one. To me, it's almost like it's a combination of ambroxan and ambergris together. There is a bit of funk in here. It's very musky and, once again, very, very powdery. But on me, it wears so super sexy, and I love it.
This one I enjoy. However, it's not uber crazy for me, and I think I'm picking up black pepper, and I know that
we're gonna have to talk about black pepper.
Yeah, seriously, because it's another commonality that me and Sebastian share. We both don't like some black pepper. we smell black pepper and incense, and we both don't enjoy black pepper. So yeah, anyways.
Well, the thing is, I'm enjoying black pepper in this one. And
you
normally,
like it, yeah.
Yeah, normally I don't enjoy black pepper.
The one thing I will say that I do enjoy about this is how Sebastian was saying the ambergris kind of mixes well with the ambroxan. For me, ambroxan never really smells like traditional ambergris. I don't think
never does.
They can't capture that smell of ambergris. So with the ambergris in here, it's kind of making it a bit more of a palatable ambergris, which I enjoy. And I mean, if you've smelled ambergris before, it's very, very animalic.
Did we talk about ambergris in another video? Because I smelled a fragrance recently. Oh my God, it was so sharp and animalic.
It cuts.
After this video, I'll have you smell it.
Oh, please do, yeah.
Oh my God.
But
this is so good.
I like the way they're making those two notes work together really well, and it's kind of getting that ambroxan note to what it is being made to get to, if that makes sense. It's closer to what actual ambergris smells like with the buffering of actual ambergris. I don't have it ranked super high. I think it would work really well again in like hot weather.
I have this one ranked high.
Yeah.
It's my number one.
It's his number one.
VITIAS is my number one. I'm a big fan of, Another 13. I really love this one.
I have this one at 4, I think.
It's almost like an ambergris take on Another 13. So, I mean, you experienced the ambergris here, but I feel like I said, it's a combo of an ambroxan and ambergris together.
Yeah.
Not just one or the other.
I could see that.
Because, people trick us and say there's ambergris in it, but they're using ambroxan. But I feel like even though I'm experiencing the ambroxan in here, I'm also experiencing something like an ambergris or an ambergris accord. Because sometimes ambergris is so expensive, they might not use real ambergris, and they might use an accord created to smell like ambergris.
Yeah, it's a good fragrance, but for me, I know Sebastian loves this one. For me, I can see this one working really well again in like hot weather. But for me, it's like not necessarily like a standout for me from the house. The other ones I ranked higher are definitely a little bit more.
We disagree in this one.
We do a little bit, yeah.
Okay,
but that's okay.
It's about damn time.
That's okay. Yeah, seriously.
So as far as our ranking goes, I start the list at number 6 with TIERRA. It's the fruit bomb.
I agree. I second that.
Tart, fruity fruit bomb.
It's just a lot.
Yeah. Number 5, it's MASAR.
For me, number 5 was also MASAR, funny enough. That was the Animalic one, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one...
It's a bit animalic. Like I said, it was a tolerable animalic, but it's not one of the ones I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, and that's the one that didn't really play too well off my skin, but it might play well off yours, so try it.
The other thing is also I can switch around with MASAR and TIERRA. I actually really like the way TIERRA is, but it's just that astringency didn't really do well. But I don't know. MASAR was ending up at number 5. And then number 4 is MANSA.
Okay.
What's your number 4?
That's my number 2. For me, number 4 is VITIA, the one that you have at number 1. Or VITIAS, yeah. That one, for me, I already mentioned it, but it's just really, really nice. It just didn't stand out for me. And once we get to the top 3, they're all kind of interchangeable. So, yeah.
For me, number 3 is NAKI. I really like the fig and fruits combo. The fig leaves were so realistic in this one. The bitterness. Just imagine myself walking under a fig grove and smelling the fig trees. Yeah,
I agree. That's my number 3 as well. I think that fragrance just hit the nail on the head. It could have been my number 2. It could have been my number 1, but yeah.
Number 2 is AMORAL.
Okay. My number 2 is going to be MANSA. So I have mine's a little bit higher than yours, but I enjoyed MANSA. I thought MANSA was a really good oud rose, powdery thing.
Yeah. And then my number 1 is VITIAS. You already know this.
Yeah, my number 1 is AMORAL, the musky fragrance that we mentioned. I think we started the video with. That one was really special for me. I enjoyed that one.
All right, guys, are you familiar with Pernoire fragrances? Let us know. And if this is the first time you're hearing about them, what do you like about the brand so far? Let us know. Put a comment down below. And also, I should say, don't forget to take advantage of the promotion. It's the perfume guy. It's basically a code. If you buy a full 50 ml and add a travel size product, you get that travel size product for free. But either way, I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.